Hey, welcome back. We're so glad to have each and every one of you with us. And guess what? We love you. Before we go any further, we ask you to do us a favor, and that is hit that button. And we ask that you subscribe. Amen. We ask that you hit the bell and ring it. And then we ask that you comment. We are so grateful to be with you. Amen. And we're so excited that on last week, we posted and shared our 10th episode.
Yeah.
Amen.
Woo, woo, woo.
Such a blessing to be able to announce that, and we're so glad that we've been here with you for 10 episodes. As of last week, we're on our 11th today, and it just seems like time just goes so fast when you're having fun. But we intend to continue the time moving on, because we're going to stay here with you, and we're going to be here with you through the end.
Yeah.
Amen. And we're going to let you know what's going on, the hot topics in the world, in the affairs of the world, and all of that good stuff. We're so glad to have with us, as always, amen, our co-host, Elder Leonard K. Scott Jr.
It's good to be here as always, Dr. Davis.
And to have with us none other than our own co-host squatter / squatter, Elder Candace Jean Marion.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well, we're here to talk about a whole lot of things. We don't know what they want to talk about, but whatever they want to talk about, we're just going to all talk about it together. Amen. Together we stand, and divided we fall. Amen. I don't know if y'all seen this morning. I saw it. Amen. Where the Pope, amen, was kissing the feet of the black men and women. And I don't know if you've seen it, but then when I begin to read it a little closer, it was the Moors, amen. And many people may not know much about the Moors, but it was a strong religious order. I would say religious order, a strong order of blacks, amen, that knew who they were. They refused to compromise, and they knew their identity, and they stood on it. And I just, this morning when I looked on Facebook, I saw where the Pope was kneeling down, kissing their feet. And the capture said that the Pope know who the black man is. So sad that we don't know who we are ourselves. And I don't know, what is y'all take on that?
Well, I think, as stated in the caption, it's true. Like I don't say we, but a lot of us don't know who we are, because I'm sure there are, outside of the Moors, black people who know who they are. But it's sad that the majority don't, which is a sad part. The majority don't, but there's a few that do, and it's sad. I don't think it's a formula to it either. Like, you try to make a formula for stuff. I don't think it's a formula to it either. It's just they just don't know, or either accept it.
Slavery, we fail to realize slavery is passed down from generation to generation, from one tradition to another, and slavery is not the chains and not necessarily the whips and things in the master's house, but slavery is in another form, and it has gotten the black nation tied up and tangled up in it to where they really don't. They don't know their true identity, and many people don't understand when they hear us say that we are the true Israelites. We are indeed.
Yes, sir. Yes,
we
sir.
are indeed. If you trace it back to even Egypt, amen, when they were enslaved Israel, when you even look in the Revelations of the description of Yeshua the Messiah, you see it described him.
Yes, sir.
It described him without doubt. And, the thing is that in Egypt, it was the Egyptians were black. They were men and women of color. And the Israelites were men and women of color.
Yes, sir.
And we know that there it was men and women of color enslaving men and women of color.
We as black people put ourselves in chains by involving ourselves in crime, not being educated, not want to read. The biggest enemy right now is technology. However, it is the one that's ruling the world. That
It is.
technology is
It
going to
is.
rule.
It's going to destroy too.
Yes, I believe so. And then just not being mindful of how we live. So we invite ourselves to slavery, if I can say it like that, because no one puts us in jail, but they hold us. They hold the color there once they get them. And the thing is, like I was listening to the news, this lady was saying there's not enough colored in high places. There's not enough colors in the hospitals. It's not
People
enough.
of color. People of color.
Not colored.
Right.
Okay, well, did that sound a little
It
the
sounds
colored?
like we went,
Slave master.
Yeah.
back down south. I'm looking for the sign that says white only and blacks only.
Yes, sir. So it's not enough people of color in those positions. You know, so we complain. We complain about a lot of things, and however, that's all we have for us. And that is slavery, because
is, yes.
if you do not take a step forward to even initiate a change, you cannot complain about it.
Yeah.
However,
Exactly.
that's what people do.
Yes.
They don't take action, but they complain about what's not being done.
Yes,
So I
exactly.
think that's a part of slavery too.
Exactly.
I think that's a major part of slavery. That's probably the biggest, honestly, is complaining. You talked. I'm not gonna bring in Friday night service, but you talked about it. Excuses, like complaining and excuses are two different
Yeah,
things.
that
I mean,
was-
not two
that
different
was
things,
a
but
good
like they're like
service.
basically the same thing.
Yes,
Because when you make an excuse for something, it's the same as complaining
you
about
could
something.
complain about it.
Yeah, instead of just doing it and making an excuse for it or complaining about it, just make a step towards doing it. It ain't got to be a big step. And I think everybody thinks that it's got to be something big or it's going to happen overnight, and nothing happens overnight. And that goes with the technology. Like, technology makes you think everything's fast,
Right.
quick, and that's
And
not,
that's why
not true.
everybody's subjected to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a quick fix. Siri, here comes the answer. Google,
Yeah.
here is the answer.
Yeah.
You ain't got to read or books or you look for it anymore. And you know, I was looking, I was personally on the technology part. I was looking at somebody the other day, and they were taking notes in their phone. Their phone numbers is in their phone. And it dawned on me, what happens if the phone crashes? If you do not transfer them notes and numbers, you know, I even said that I was going to write numbers down and put them in the car, because we never know when the phone go out.
Right.
You know, we never know, and you won't remember numbers because you've been enslaved to the technology so tough that it has made you weaken, and weaken we call lazy, because it's going to make you say, Siri, dial such and such a number, and it did. But then you're going to find out it's not going to dial it, and you're not going to remember the number.
That's so true.
So you're going to be kind of like out there stuck like Chuck
Yeah.
for real. You know, so that you know, in that mentality, the slavery, if we're not careful, we will find ourselves so bogged down, because everything is meant to take us out. Amen. I don't know if you all believe that, but it's not, just like a lot of things is not meant to heal. It is just meant
Convenient.
to.
Yeah.
It just
Oh, yeah.
it's just meant
A quick
to
fix.
put you to their convenience,
Yeah.
by way of money making and what have you. You know, and I don't know. With me, it's just so much that you know, you just really don't, you know, when you look at it in the overall view, if you don't stand up, you know, you're definitely going to give in.
Yeah.
Because the ultimate is that the need is so great, and if you don't have the initiative to stand and make yourself somebody, you're going to depend on what they gave you to be somebody, so that's going to always bring you down to nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and there is that thing that always gets me, is when they call it privilege. You know, and the sad thing is, we were privileged from the very creation. You know, however, we gave up our privilege for the smallest of things that intrigued us. And the things that did not intrigue us, it was so enforced upon us that we became accepted of it, and then we made it a way of life
Yeah.
and a way of our lives.
Yeah.
That's so true.
true.
When you was talking about the numbers, remember we had phone books, not phone books that was delivered, but we made our own phone books.
Yes.
Well, we knew numbers, maybe 30 numbers by heart or more. We only went to the phone books to dial numbers that we wouldn't dial unless we was, just trying to meet up with somebody or contact somebody we haven't talked to in a long time. But I probably got 4 good numbers outside of 911 that I know by heart. Like,
Yeah.
my phone book is in my phone.
Yep.
So every time I need to get something, I go to my phone.
click on the
like,
name. That's all
just
you gotta do, just
serious.
click on
And
the
it's
name.
true about
Yeah.
the notes.
Yep.
I have become,
It's just so
and
convenient.
I won't blame it on the, I stopped carrying so much stuff when we started coming back into the building. Because I didn't know if I had to give my seat, for someone I
Yep.
can stand. So I've now, someone brought it to my attention that I have a note in my iPhone, and it's bomb. So the note section, I can put notes in, and it may finish my note. It's like the system knows from the first 3 words what I'm going to end with.
Isn't that
Like
sad?
that is
Scary?
something. It is. I'm like, wow,
But
this is
you're
something
enjoying
else.
the convenience
Yeah.
of it.
Very convenient. That's
Yeah.
why I
That's what
said
it
when you
is.
was talking, it's so
And that's what gets
convenient.
us every
Yeah.
time.
The only thing it does not keep up with and can't put is when I'm getting ready to put the Bible stuff. The Bible is not in the memory of
Yeah.
my iPhone.
Yeah, that's true.
It is not. None of the scriptures are in the memory. But if
That's
I'm
true.
just
We're
writing,
not supposed to be caught up in the word.
well, the phone ain't caught up in the word either because it won't.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It cannot finish the Bible. Even if I ask Siri, if you ask Siri anything about the Bible, I can lead you to the website.
Yep. And it's gonna lead you to Google or something.
And it'll lead me
Yep.
to ask Google.
Yep.
Ask this, ask that. But Siri is not programmed to know anything.
About religion.
Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing.
That's true.
It is your own. When you say Siri, what is religion? Sugar baby, what do you think religion is?
Mm-hmm.
Because religion is nothing that the foundational man, meaning those that are empowered, those that are privileged, they're not concerned about religion. So why even waste? Those are things that intrigues us, the little people, the insignificant people. So we give them that.
Yeah.
We give them that. That keeps them tamed. That keeps them calm. That keeps them down. And then we become a people of color that we accept, especially if it's going to give us a little bit. I said it yesterday in my message, the stimulus package. We're excited for that to come because somebody wants to go get red weave.
Who? Oh.
Red weave.
You know, you see my point. They want to have their nails done, and they're gonna have pedicures done, and still they're gonna end up with no food. You see what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
rent
yeah.
is not going to be caught up, and none of that. So you still you don't even see where that money that everybody's saying going to help. It's really only to enslave, and you fall right in the category of it. You're going to go out like you got millions of dollars.
Millions.
You're going to walk hard. You're going to walk hard to wherever you're going to get red hair, blue hair, lime green hair. You're going to do all of that, and you're going to talk. Your talking is going, girl, they don't mess with me because if they come to me stepping wrong, yada, 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 whoopity scoop. Well, now, that's only because you got that stimulus package.
Yeah.
When that stimulus package run out, you won't know which way to go no further. And the thing is that it is so sad that the things that we do becomes the controller of us. It becomes our whole identity. When that's not our identity.
Right.
With short hair, you should know you're a queen. if you're people of color,
Yeah.
with short hair,
Or no hair.
bald headed, you should know who you are.
Yeah.
With money, without
money,
money,
yeah.
you should know your identity.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to know your true identity is to trace yourself biblically back to who you were, created in the likeness, in the image of.
Yes, sir.
It made it very clear that at the very end, the book of Revelation, it described him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
It was, the description was put there for a reason.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was put there for a reason. Now, if you made in the likeness and the image of him, then here comes the Son in volume 2, the New Testament, and he takes on the same form.
Yeah.
You know, so the greatest thing is that I don't know, we really stuck like Chuck, and we arguing.
Oh,
Just like
amongst
we
each other.
arguing
Yeah.
the American Pledge of Allegiance. The flag never was meant for us.
Not at all.
It never represented us at all. But we are pledging an allegiance to,
To what?
and to what?
Well, that's where the kneeling came from.
That's
Exactly,
why they
yeah.
got so aggravated, because it took it all out of the equation. It took man and put us, men of color, saying they're trying to run this again.
You gonna destroy this table, Bishop?
Yeah, that's where the kneeling. That's where the
Sorry.
kneeling came from.
You was feeling
Because they
it.
like no,
Yeah,
but none of it was created
serious.
for people of color. The
Yeah.
Constitution, no.
Nah.
The laws, no.
No.
The Pledge of Allegiance, no.
Yeah.
The flying of the flag, no. None of it was for people of color. So that's why so many people got away with brutality, and so many people got away
And
with
getting
murder.
away with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and getting so many people were just pushed to the side, or they were murdered. However, it was
Yep.
because of this why they were
And
murdered.
instead of them wearing white robes and hoods, they're wearing blue uniforms.
and black robes and sitting in high places.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
judges
places in
and
general.
lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's
'Cause them
what
judges,
it is.
Some judges, those
Oh,
are.
yeah.
We talk about the police, but them
It's
judges.
well, them the ones that say life.
And they was lawyers
Well,
and prosecutors and all
before
that stuff before they was
judges.
even judges. So
You're
when they
right.
get them seats, they looking just to be like, all right,
That's what
we gonna
this
give you the
lady
match
was
to make an
saying.
example of you.
That is
That's
not
they-
enough
No.
people of color in high
Yep.
places, but the complaints are in high places.
And
Yep.
isn't it funny that
Yep.
you better not get in trouble during election time?
Oh man, they
And
looking
be
to
a,
get you.
be a man or a woman of color.
They looking to get
because
you on
or a
election time.
black or brown. Because if you get in trouble during election time, you're guaranteed
over. It's
you're
over.
going to jail, because that judge that is running for office or whoever is running for office
gonna
is
throw
going to use
throw the
you
book at you.
as an example.
They gonna throw the book.
Yeah.
The whole
yeah,
book.
yeah,
over.
you're right.
It's over. You ain't got a chance. I don't care if it's your first offense. It's over. They ain't give you no slap. It used to be a slap
It
of
is
the wrist. They don't
sad.
give no slap of the wrist.
It
for
is sad.
nothing.
It is.
It is sad. It is sad that, you know, and this is something that has been said before. It is said that a black boy, a black man, a black woman have to drive down the street and watch their back at all time. A white man, a white woman can drive down the street and break the law and not even care if the police is right behind
But
them.
we got to be scared.
Well,
why-
there's so
you know what I
many,
mean?
and it's a lot of like the white people who stand with black people, with Black Lives Matter. That's what they say. They say they're standing. They know they're not black, of course.
Right.
But they say that. You know, that's their intro. I know that I'm not black, but I'm standing out of embarrassment for
Yeah,
my
I
race.
want-
I'm
I-
standing.
And shame. Yep. That's what
and
they
you
say.
know, for
I'll
shame.
accept them standing out of embarrassment, but I don't want them to stand with us out of pity.
No, I don't think
I
they
don't think-
standing
I
out
don't
of
think they
pity.
either. Yeah.
And they were like, I don't even know if they would even stand if they had pity. It maybe some, I don't know, but when the ones that I've seen voice their opinion, they'll say it's just sad that they were born into a race that hates because of the skin.
Yep.
And they're like, it's not me. So it's like they running with Black Lives Matter, and they're protesting, but I think that's their mic chance, if I could say it like that, to say it's not me.
Yeah. 'cause
You know what I
wanna be
mean?
there to
It's
have-
not me. I know I'm white, but I want to understand. I want to understand your way, which makes it kind of sound like sometimes they say stuff that they think they're really saying from their heart, but it kind of makes it seem
cringe.
like,
you shouldn't
maybe you shouldn't have
like
said that.
Yeah.
Just stop at I'm standing
Being
because I
assistant or
want to.
something, yeah.
You know, because some stuff you can. So someone said, I read it and they said, I know I grew up privileged, but I want to know how it feels not to. So that to me, I was like, I don't know if it is a different way I could tell you to say that, but maybe you should have said like, how was it to grow up? You know, how did you grow up? Some stuff they just don't know how to say. I don't know if we say that it's not their fault or what, but just leave well enough alone.
I don't think they know how to leave. They don't know what well enough is. So there you get them going overboard, trying to be a part of and to show their empathy for.
But they're not a threat, so they're not a threat. So they're gonna do the best that they can, or say
and,
the best
and
they can do.
sometimes we can talk too much.
That's true. Yeah.
And not, without just saying, okay, I'm sorry, and leave it alone.
Yeah.
We say, I'm sorry for.
Yep.
Then we go down a whole list.
And start making.
But
this long,
should they
this long
apologize?
speech.
Should they?
Apology. I don't think apology is what is necessary.
Right.
My personal opinion.
Me neither.
I don't think the people
that are not
people of color. I don't think they owe an apology.
Right.
I think they definitely owe respect. I think they definitely owe the respect, and it doesn't matter whether they think the person or the persons are educated to their standards or not. They still are due respect because where they're ignorant in the black and brown community, their ignorance also in the white community.
Definitely.
There's a lot of people that are not educated among the white, and there's a lot of black and brown, or people of color, I'll put it that way, that are very educated. The saddest thing is, in order for them to keep their status in life, they have to denounce their color.
Yes, sir. That's true.
And I think that's where we then begin to be back enslaved, because we're back in the status. In my opinion, we're back in the status of saying, number one, I've fought to get here. I don't want to return back there. Back there wasn't so bad because it got you to where you are. Sure. Now, what you may feel is you still have to get permission to drink at that white water fountain in order for you to keep your status. But if you got there because you were educated, if you got there because you went to school, if you got there because you studied, if you got there because you passed the test, then you ain't got to bow to nobody. You ain't got to bow, nor do you have to lose your integrity as a person of color. And then you don't have to mistreat those that may not be. Yes, you got leeches everywhere. You got leeches everywhere. You got people that are not wanting to do no better and will not do any better everywhere, whether there be people of color or not, or any other people, that are not of color. But the whole fact of it is, my personal opinion is, when we get to places in life, we forget where we come from. Not forget to the point where you can't enjoy where you are or what you've accomplished. Definitely, you should, and you should be so proud, but not proud to forget that there's another little black boy or little black girl that may not be privileged right now, but they're watching you. And the way you carry yourself will be the thing that may motivate them, or the thing that will discourage them. That's why I don't eat chicken bones and pig feet bones. I've never have. So why would they coincide or put somebody black with chicken bones and pig feet bones?
It's true,
and watermelon and all of that.
It's just not right when they say that.
It's just not.
That was something a couple of years ago on the news, though, that was really serious, that people were suing because it was a commercial made with watermelon, and they had black people eating.
Yeah.
They had black people eating the watermelon.
They always do that.
And then on this side with the picnic table, the white people had a basket, and it had mangoes and grapes and everything in it except watermelon. Well, it was some black woman who noticed that. The commercial could be just going, but it's some people that is very, very observative
I don't blame
that
them.
see that, and she saw that it was not one piece of watermelon
in that
On the
basket.
in that basket. And she also noticed that it was only watermelon on those paper plates on the black family's table. And Sister Show got paid. She sued them for that commercial. They took the commercial down and she got paid. So they do, like, not they. We are likened as people of color to certain things. And chicken is most definitely one of the things that
And
we're likened to.
the thing is, though,
Albert's,
we are entitled to love watermelon.
and chicken.
And
We
chicken
are entitled
and hot
to
sauce.
love chicken with hot sauce because it is not a black thing.
It's
We
not.
just learned how to cook it and enjoy it. So now
How to
you
make
got
it taste
you got
good.
people coming from the elite places that are not people of color asking the question, where can I find some good soul food?
You're right. I mean, it's
Yeah,
that.
that's
It's
true.
really sad. Like, it's really sad how people of color are put over here for certain things. It's really
And as
sad.
much as we're put over here, we do not allow ourselves to see that they are coming over here with us to enjoy what we have accomplished because we've been known to be able to cook.
They just go back.
They go back. And then they go back and they want to make sure they come over here at night. So nobody
Know
could,
that
in
they
the
came over.
daytime can see them
And
come
the thing
over.
about it is, they come over to eat and use a napkin though to wipe their face and go back. People of color just eat and keep the crumbs on their shirt, on their table, grease. So we got to come up. People of color need to come up.
Oh, we've been needing to come
I
up.
know,
But
I'm
because
just-
of the slave mentality, we will be more against and aggressive with our own color
Yes.
than we are with the one where we need to show aggression. We fight one another, we killing one another, and that means we're it's set, like we're set up as a carnival or a sideshow, and people standing around watching us act a complete idiot, a complete fool by destroying ourselves, by shooting at one another, by riding down the streets, having TV shootouts. You know, riding down the street, you shooting out the window, the other one shooting out the window. That stuff we see on TV. Well, that becomes news. That becomes news. Now, Johnny and Jill and Tom had the same shootout on the other side of town.
Well, they was mentally ill though.
But no, we didn't hear about them.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't hear
Whether
about
they
that.
were mentally ill or
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
the
we didn't hear about
police
that.
chased them and caught them and took Johnny back home, Gio to the mental institution, and Tom was the chief's son.
You're right.
Yeah, that's true. You don't hear about it.
But let us have a shootout. But number one, we shouldn't have them anyway.
That's right.
You know, but let us have a shootout. The news, the helicopters are all look like they're ready. Look like they're ready. A nigga on the loose, chopper. Excuse me for saying that. But here comes the chopper, ready to roll. It's already fired up.
No, seriously.
You know, and it's so sad that when we talk about slavery, when we come to talk, and one thing that I heard, I don't know how true it is, but I hope that it is true, because I think that I wish I could sit on the board to help with the police or something like that for the community, because I really believe that it is so important that somebody really watch what's going on with the police force in the community. And I heard it, I don't know how true it is, but I hear that it's in the making, where they're going to start, or I feel it would be a good plan of what I heard, if they're going to start putting people, police in districts that they somewhat are familiar
Right.
with.
Makes
I think that is the most wisest thing
It
to
is.
do. Why put some rich white police in a poor black neighborhood? The first thing they're going to do is go in there like they Cowboy Bob, and they're going to try to shoot up every black man or woman that they see to get brownie points. When you put somebody in that neighborhood that is familiar with it, they're not there to overlook crime. They're there to keep law and order, but they will have a little bit more tolerance with dealing with the people if they're
Know
in their
how to,
area,
yes.
and then they'll know how.
Yep.
Because see, Johnny down the street, no police, Ray.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And Police Ray done waved
Right.
at
Or talk
Miss
to 'em.
Mabel.
Or talk to 'em.
And Miss Mabel runs the whole neighborhood. So Miss Mabel looking in the window and gonna tell everybody, you know, that's Johnny. That's Elizabeth's son. He's a police now, and he works in the neighborhood, and we gonna respect him.
You're right.
And that's where we will start getting a handle on it. Because when you bring white people that have no empathy for black people into a black neighborhood, what are you expecting? Nothing but that. And because they have.
Or if they don't even have empathy or that or any of that, just come into the neighborhood. If they've heard about the neighborhood and the crimes and the different people, they gonna come in already. Maybe I won't say they scared. However, if you don't know if someone is gonna pull out their gun and start shooting, the first thing you gonna do is start shooting.
Exactly.
So they need to educate them. So if it's some type of coalition going on in the neighborhood, those are the people that need to be talking to these new police to tell them the ins and the outs of it.
I know here in Indianapolis, we need a better coalition.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yes.
know, you know.
They talking about it at the schools.
We really need to, and I don't know who's out there, but I would like to be a part of it, if nothing else, but a voice in the background. I'm not looking to be no leader, but I am a leader, and I'm not scared to talk because I do believe that there is a remedy. But if we allow the police force to be as they are, they're going to create more of a mess than they're ready to handle.
Yeah.
You know, because in a minute, anybody will get fed up.
Yeah.
You get tired of every time you get in your car and pull off and one pull up behind you, and the intimidating factor that they use is to drive real close up on you to make you do something. Why even bother?
Yeah.
What is the deal about making someone commit a crime? If they are guilty, you're going to catch them anyway. And yes, there's black people that are villains, and there are white people that are villains. It's crime in every aspect. And the thing about it is, you all don't tell it on the news, but white crime is worse than black crime. They will run and shoot one another out. White crime will take an axe and chop up everybody in the house and sit there with the bodies for 2 and 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so we really need to think that it is so important. And these Karens running around, that's another thing. Karens. I think you need to blast out a Karen.
They're in a grocery store.
I know you told me you ran across a Karen.
I always see them. They always in the grocery store.
I don't
They
pay
own the
attention.
space.
Though. What?
They own the space.
Do you let them own it?
I do not. This is really the truth. If I could be truthful, in my mind, I feel like I am coming out of character because how far I don't have no limit into when dealing with Karens. So what I mean by that is I feel like I have to come out of character to deal with a Karen, because if I'm in the aisle and I said excuse me so many times the other day, I was ready to leave my cart and just go, because I know I'm not the only one in the way is what I'm saying.
Help
So
me,
with
Father.
my cart,
I would have ran her over.
sir, no, you wouldn't have.
I would have. You know I would.
No, you wouldn't have, sir. He's just saying that.
Oh,
But,
yes, I would have. If I said, excuse me, don't try to fix it for me. If I said, excuse me properly, and I said, excuse me again,
Well, I was on the phone with you. You hear I was making a
and I
mixtape.
told you should have ran over her.
I was making a mixtape. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. But then I said, okay, sir, for some reason it seems like I'm the only one in the way and I'm the only one saying, excuse me. And then someone said, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. You see how I had to be sarcastic for it to happen, but we both did this out together. We don't have to touch. We don't have to talk. I don't have to say excuse me. You don't have to say excuse me. We just see each other so we get out of each other's way. It can just be that plain. But when I say excuse me, you still looking at the Uncle Ben's. You shouldn't even be looking at the Uncle Ben's. See, that's this is how my mind goes. Why are you looking at Uncle Ben's instead of the whole grain white rice?
Well,
you can't. I don't want to be like that.
I'm going to be respectful to every color. I'm going to ask you politely.
They gonna take the wheels off your car.
Excuse me. I'm going to ask. I don't care if it's an 80-year-old Karen. I'm going to say, excuse me, and then I'm going to say, ma'am, excuse me. If she doesn't move, her name is Karen, so that means run over,
sir.
I'm serious. You don't fool with no Karen.
Yes.
Them crazy Karens, you just.
You see the young boy that was going to shoot me down with the, but I ain't playing with no kids because they don't know, so I'm going to help teach them. But he pulled his pistol out on me in the spring.
Where you been going?
I just go over here to the Crow because you was on the phone when that little boy pulled
I'm
that
always,
fake.
because I don't go to stores. I can't. I went to Walmart the other day and like they had a fit trying to get out of there. You know, since this pandemic going on, I haven't been going into any stores or anything like that. And I pray and I bless the Almighty that with me already not wanting to go in the store and having to go in there and run into a Karen, that's going to be an ugly situation. That's going to be and a mask on my face too. Oh, there's going to be flames out of the top of my head. And Karen is going to know that I am not going to play with her. Not today and not tomorrow either, honey. You know, now I'm going to stay safe.
Yes, you can't play with the Karens because then they get home and get to tell the story.
Yep.
So we can't let them tell the story of, however way they tell it at home. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to say excuse me if I'm passing through. But I'm not going to be the only one saying it. Now, that's not nice.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't want to come across no Karen. And I ask the Father to protect me, shield me from the Karen.
He will.
Because I will not be successful.
He will. He'll
I
shield
will
you.
not. And I'm not asking him to let me be successful. Because the only success with a Karen is to run her over. It is. Just like in that park. Those Karens know what they're doing. And they know they call the police because you black.
Crazy.
No. Anywho, we move right on from Karen because that sets my hair on fire. Amen.
Well, I will tell you about the, you was talking about the police dealings. They're trying now with the school system. The superintendent was speaking, and he said what needs to happen is, what they do is they send officers from the streets to deal with situations within the school. And the officers from the streets, their first reaction is to cuff them and lock them up. They said that's not the way to go. So they are asking for officers to be sent into the schools to meet with the kids, to talk to the kids, so the kids will get to know them and keep those same officers, if possible, in those areas to get to know the kids, because you don't know what's going on in the kids' life.
Exactly.
You don't know even if they had breakfast, lunch, or dinner the night before. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the situation. You don't know. So to just approach them as criminals, and they're not because they were being disrespectful and unable to be calmed down, then to take them to jail is not the answer. So I think that is a good, I think they are. I heard that they were trying to do the community coalition working with the police also. And another thing is, I think it's really a good idea for you to be a part of the leader. However, sir, it is called a coalition that you will be joining. But I think with your leadership and your standards and your kingdom principles that you have with the word, that will help in adding to whatever they may have. I don't know what they have.
I don't mind working with a coalition. I don't mind that. I don't mind working with anybody as long as we're working for the right cause.
Mm-hmm.
And the right cause is not because I said it's right. I don't mind joining in. As I said, I don't mind working on the background. As long as the work is getting done, that's all that I'm really concerned about. And my main goal is to stop people from feeling the anxieties of police running up on them and police just taking the advantage of the fact that they are legally able to kill. And getting away with it. That's the thing that has to be stopped.
Yeah.
And I heard the other day that in the next 2 or 3 months, you're not going to need a license to carry a gun.
Right.
They're removing it.
Yes.
They're removing it where everybody will be privileged to carry your own.
They're trying to stop it because they said criminals will have it.
They've already passed it here.
Oh, but what about them saying the criminals would be able to carry it?
I don't know. It's just going to be a shootout.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm
was
laughing.
trying to follow
I'm
that,
laughing, but
I
I'm
went
not
to
really
sleep.
making light of it because that is going to be dangerous.
Because-
it's already dangerous to me because they can get it without going to the gun store.
Exactly.
It's not hard. So really, if we looking
It's
at
just
the
not
bigger,
going to be a crime, they said, because the jails are overcrowded and all of
yeah,
that.
if we look at the bigger picture, you can get a gun easy. It's not hard. It's not hard to get a gun with or
getting
without a
it.
license. If like. Shoot, we can go back to the 80s and 70s and stuff like that. Like, it's not hard. It's easy.
They had
Drugs
guns.
and guns and alcohol and all that stuff is easy to get. We all know that. It's easy. It's not hard. So, that's just my opinion. It's like, okay, it's not really a big fuss because if I want to get a pistol and ask the serial, I have not. But if I wanted to, it wouldn't be hard. All you got to do is just talk.
Right, that's
And
it.
somebody's going to lead you to it.
That's just like liquor. You can
Yeah.
there's
Talking
kids
money.
on the liquor
Talk.
store.
Oh, yeah,
line.
if you can show the money, right?
You
If you got the money.
money,
You got the
man.
money, you can get
You
it.
can
Yep,
buy
that's
You
whatever
true.
might
you
not
want.
even need to say number one word if you show
Money.
them the money.
That's true. You be like, look, boom, there it is.
You don't have to give
Yep.
the money though. They're not giving
The money gonna talk.
charitable pistols.
It's gonna talk. The money
It's
gonna
always
talk.
a reason.
Uh-huh.
Because why would they agree to such a law?
Exactly.
Like you said, it's already easy to get a gun. We know that.
But
it's
see,
easy.
let's hope
but
that
why
they're not
is it,
intending for blacks to kill each other even more.
but why is it a law? Why does it have to be made a law
What?
so that you can just carry without a license?
Because it was a law that you needed license. So now it's not a
But
law.
that's the biggest
it's
fight
not,
that they're
it's
fighting.
not a law that you can carry without license. They're saying that they're getting ready to take out of law
Right.
the need for license.
They said it.
So which means you could just carry anybody.
Yeah, they said it comes against the
Anybody
amendment.
can carry.
Comes against the amendment to bear arms.
Bear arms.
And which makes sense because it is an amendment to be able
Well,
to
they're
bear arms.
going to be letting a lot of people out of prison.
But see,
Because a lot of people are locked
That
up
ain't-
on habituals for carrying
I have
guns.
permit.
That ain't
I
gonna
have
happen.
I have-
Unfortunately, we know that ain't
they're
gonna
not
happen.
gonna let them out.
Yeah, that ain't
No,
gonna happen. That's like
no.
with the drug and stuff like that. Let's say, for instance, if they make weed legal everywhere, just because you slang weed, they ain't gonna let you out. You still gonna be in there for that weed charge. So
Because
it's over.
it was a law.
It
when
was a
you
law then. Exactly. It's over. You ain't getting it out. We wish it was that easy.
And you know the funniest thing on that weed thing you talking about the other day, I was watching somebody do a live. I don't know where they were, but in their live they were doing a show. And in them doing a show, they said, "Hold on, somebody's at the door." And when the person came in, do you not know it was a person delivering from the cannabis shop? And they announced it. They said, My cannabis man is here. And look at what he brought me. And they had a big bag of, pretty bag with stuff, I guess, all the, whatever they ordered. I said, this is really getting good when you can do a grub hub
That's legal.
for cannabis.
That's legal
You
state.
can do a grub hub for cannabis.
those
That's
legal
legal. It's
states.
legal states. Yeah, they got that
now
legal
that's
states.
the legal
Yep.
states.
They
I
got that
know.
in legal states.
They might as well make it legal everywhere.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people ride around with
Anyway.
those medical cards, and
They
they
cousin them done made them.
Yep.
made them
They
for 'em.
forged them cards, man.
You know, and probably the one that's got the cards,
Fake IDs.
the real person's probably been dead a while.
Probably.
And they say they got glaucoma. They do. They can't see. They dead.
They did. They can't see nothing. Everything's black.
Yep.
Everything.
That is so crazy. Amen. I promise you, I'm enjoying this conversation with
Yeah.
you all. And, you know, excuse me, we do pray that you all out there will reach
Yeah.
out to us and
Leave
help
comments.
us, leave comments
Yeah.
and stuff because we want to be able to reach the people, we do want to make a difference, but the only way we're going to make a difference is we people of color, whether it be black or brown, red, white, or whatever. We need to stand up with in integrity, and we need to be proud of who we are. The ultimate is knowing who you are and being proud of it. If you don't have the education, get it. If you don't have the finances that you want to live a comfortable life and getting it in the right way, you have all opportunities to get it.
Yes.
You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, and you don't have to be none of those things. Just a successful black woman, black man, brown woman, brown man. If you put your mind to it, everybody don't have to be a doctor. Everybody don't have to be a lawyer.
No, but be
Amen.
something.
Because if you're going to be a good lawyer is a good liar. In order for you to be a good lawyer, you got to lie real good.
Yeah, you gotta do your client, do your
And
job.
get away with
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
You got to believe your client, even
if you feel
know
it's a lie.
your client
Yep.
is lying.
Yep, you got to twist that
So,
story.
I just really want to encourage you. We've been talking about something. I mean, yesterday in our service, we are Sabbath keepers, and we do believe in the name Yahweh and Yeshua the Messiah. And yet, in yesterday, what did y'all think about that service?
It was a powerful service. I mean, what else could you say?
I just believe
It
the
was an
man that
awesome
was
one.
preaching it was you, right?
It was
Okay,
indeed.
just was so assured of what he was saying that he had my attention. My attention to where I was could just sit there and just, oh man, sir, when you preached on yesterday, as you always do, some days is just greater than others. You know, some days are just greater than others. Yesterday was one of those great days. And you walk back and forth as a professor would do, back and forth as a preacher does, in the assurance of who Yahweh is, telling us who we have to be in our identity, kingdom building, giving kingdom principles, giving kingdom orders, just saying that the foundation is already laid. Now, what are you going to do? You know, so the kingdom principles that you give to us, your congregation, and now to the World Wide Web that are listening, even the ones that don't tune in all the way, even the ones that don't comment, there are hundreds of people watching you, even if you don't know. It is. And my goodness, and I say that with facts, because if it's 43 shares, that's 43 different pages.
Yep.
With thousands of people on every
I
one
never
of
looked
them.
at it like that. That is so true.
So many people are watching you. Even if it's for 5 minutes, even if it's 2 minutes, even if it's for 6 people, 6 minutes, they hear you. So that's the breakdown of it. That's why I said to you on yesterday or the other day when I said that you may, when you came into the Sabbath, maybe 4 or 5 people stayed with you, but what you did was brought a multitude. Because the word says where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, touching and agreeing. You brought more than 2 or 3. You see, and so it's great. You are a great leader, and you teach kingdom principles. That's why we're able to
Because
stand.
that's who we are. We're so grateful. Amen. This conversation is so outstanding and exciting to me, and I'm sure to us as well.
Yes.
You know, and because of that, we are wanting you to tune in on next week.
Sir.
Yes, next week we're going to go into the depths of the Sabbath. We're going to go into the Word in reference to the Sabbath, and we're not asking you to believe us. We're asking you to believe the Father's Word.
Yes,
And we're going to bring it down again. We want you to hit that button, subscribe. We want you to ring the bell, and most of all, we want you to comment.
Yes.
Amen. We are so excited, as always, to be able to come to you. Thank you, Elder Leonard Scott.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Davis and Elder Merritt.
And thank you, Elder Candace Merritt.
Thank you to the both of you. It's always great to talk with you all.
And all of us are so excited to be able to talk with you all, and you allowing us to come into your space and your place. We just thank you for that. We never want to take anything for granted or anyone. Remember who you are at all times. Please, ma'am, please, sir, be proud of who you are.
Yes.
And if you don't have the things that you want out of life, you have a chance as long as you're breathing. You have a chance. You do not have to compromise your standard or your level of integrity. For the word said, lift up your head, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting door, and the King of glory shall come in. And if the question asks, who is the King of glory? The reply will be the Father strong and mighty, the Father mighty in battle. We love you, and we are looking forward to seeing you again on next week. Remember now, we definitely want you to tune in so we can talk a little bit more about the Sabbath and the events that are going on in our nowadays society. We love you, we bless you, and have a blessed week on us, for we know that you are blessed. Thank you.